Welcome. Like usual, the work is piling up around us. And it seems like there's always tons to do in our world and in our community. And so this seemed like a really important passage for us for this season. Some years it slows down in the summer and we get a little bit of a lull. The last few years we haven't been getting that. There is no lull. Someone just yawned. It's contagious. My apologies. There's no lull in our lives anymore. Retirement should be a lull for us, but for a lot of people, it was just another way to be busy. And so, as we look at what we do and the lives that we live, I think this is really important and this matters because doing things for others, doing what we do as a church, being the church, sometimes can start to feel that way too. It can start to feel like busyness, like checking things off a list, like obligation. So listen to these words from 2 Corinthians chapter 9, and we're starting in verse 12. I'm reading today from the Message. Carrying out this social relief work involves far more than helping meet the bare needs of poor Christians. It also produces abundant and bountiful thanksgivings to God. This relief offering is a prod to live at your very best, showing your gratitude to God by being openly obedient to the plain meaning of the message of Christ. You show your gratitude through your generous offerings to your needy brothers and sisters, and really toward everyone. Meanwhile, moved by the extravagance of God in your lives, they'll respond by praying for you in passionate intercession for whatever you need. Thank God for this gift, for His gift. No language can express it enough. How beautiful and how appropriate for all of us who are overworked, who feel like things just are always too busy, because they are. They're always going to be busy. And that's why it becomes even more important for us to always be reflecting on why we do what we do. Whether we're helping our family, whether we're taking a break, that's an important part of what we do as well, to have some time for respite and renewal. Whether we are working for other people, this says social relief work, right? The things that we do as the church that make us feel like the church. So visiting the sick, loving people wherever they're at and helping them to have their needs met, all of those kinds of things, giving books for the prison and giving things to the school to help them do what they do, helping people who need food, helping people who need backpacks with school supplies, all of the things we do as a church. Oftentimes we do it for the wrong reason, or we forget why we do what we do, and we do the actions. We've always done this. We've always helped with the backpacks, so this year we're going to help with the backpacks. We've always helped with a certain dinner, and this year we're going to help with that dinner. Whatever it is that we get involved in, bringing something for Bible school or doing a certain job for the youth group, whatever we are called to that we have been doing, if we don't continue to reflect on how that is a generous offering to God, a bountiful thanksgiving to God, this text says, then it becomes just another busy task in our schedule. But you and I both know that the reason we do what we do is because we love each other and we love God. And when we take time to have a picnic with our kids or grandkids or our neighbors whose parents are maybe too busy to do it themselves because they have to work really hard. When we do those things, we don't do them because of us, because we're meeting a need within ourselves. We do it because we are thankful to God. We don't even do it because other people need it and we think we need to give them what they need. We do it because it comes from a place of thanksgiving within us. Our gratitude drives our mission. And when it doesn't, we burn out and we get frustrated. And we also forget why things are important. But this says here, let me read this verse to you again, this section of the verse. Showing your gratitude to God by being openly obedient to the plain meaning of the message of Christ. That's what we're doing. So we are showing the plain meaning of the message of Christ. And if you have to boil the entire message down to its core, Jesus said it best, probably. I don't think we can beat what Jesus said. When he was asked what's most important, he said, love God and love each other. Love God and love each other. The simple message of Christ. When we do anything we do, we need to remember that is showing our gratitude to God through the plain meaning of the message of Christ. The community here should know when they look at what we do, when they see what we have done and what we continue to do, and the spirit that is within us as we do it, they should feel like we are loving them and we are loving God. And that is what drives us, being thankful for the opportunity to do that kind of ministry. It is an abundant and bountiful thanksgiving to God when we can love each other, when we can love God. And whether that means loving each other by caring for our families, by taking care of the community, by resting when we need to rest so that we can do a better job of doing the things we need to do, or by meditating and focusing on why is it we're doing what we're doing. Every day we should have a little special time with God where we can not just read scripture, not just maybe reflect or do a devotion, but we should be able to take time to think, what am I doing today to thank God? How is what I am doing, what I'm choosing to fill my day with, how is that a note of thanks to God? When we get a gift, we send thank you notes, right? We give a note that expresses to people why we are so thankful. Every day of our lives is a thank you note to God. And when our ministry, when our work, when our time with each other becomes something else, something other than a thank you note to God, we're not doing it right. We haven't paused to take the time to know why we do what we do. And then we're doing it for other reasons because we haven't paused to reflect. Sabbath is important. It helps us keep our center. No language can express enough how thankful we must be. So this week, when you're doing the things you do, when you feel busy, when you feel stressed or overwhelmed, I want you to stop and say, how am I thanking God with what I'm doing right now? And if you're not, it's okay. That happens to us all the time. Take a moment to make that about thanksgiving to God. Think about how what you're doing is really thanking God and loving God. And it'll change your day. And it'll change the way you decide to love others and love God every single moment. I'll see you later.